Hi everyone, Eric from Deadly Distractions here. Today I want to talk to you about the Murder Mystery Workshop. It's a creative writing activity that you can do with your friends or coworkers. And we're going to get into the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the Murder Mystery Creative Writing Workshop. First up, let's start with the what. The Murder Mystery Workshop is a presentation that I designed to talk about the process I go through when I'm creating a murder mystery for Deadly Distractions. There is some amount of technique that goes into it. I tend to follow the same process every time. I decided to put all of it into writing, and it turns out that the same kind of people that enjoy a wine and canvas type event, pottery classes, those are the people that also enjoy new activities. Let's talk about the why. I created this presentation because I noticed when I was going through the writing process for the murder mysteries, there was a pattern and there seemed to be a step-by-step flow, and I wanted to communicate that flow and that process to other people. That led to the workshop, which was even way more fun than me just talking about how I approach creative writing. And the more that I ran the workshop, the more I saw people really engaging with the creative writing process. They were stretching their creative muscles. They were having a lot of fun doing it. And the ideas that they came up with were really intriguing and engaging. Those have probably been the most fun events that I've had, outside of hosting the party games, of course. So that's why I'm here sharing more about the Murder Mystery Workshop with you. Now, we've talked about the what and the why. Let's get into the who. Who would enjoy the Murder Mystery Workshop? With everything going on in the world, I've seen a pretty significant uptick in people who are interested in things like Dungeons and Dragons, other types of role-playing activities, creative classes in general, things like pottery or beading. So if you're the kind of person that likes to dive into a new experience, learn a little bit about it, try it out for yourself, then the Murder Mystery Workshop might be for you. Some of the reviews we've gotten are that people felt really engaged and they felt like they were using their imaginations, and it was a very energizing experience for them, even long after the event had passed. So let's move now into the when. I get asked a lot, how long does the Murder Mystery Workshop run? That question is always easily answered by, it depends. If you need a certain time constraint placed on any of our events, you can always ask and we would be more than happy to modify the event. That said, the virtual Murder Mystery Workshop runs for about 2 hours. When we're in person, we like to take a little bit more time getting comfortable and exploring the ideas. They tend to run a little bit longer. The in-person event takes anywhere from 2.5 to 3 hours. It's not uncommon to run a little bit over if people are having a ton of fun. But again, if you need a shorter time period for your event, I would be more than happy to chop it down and fit it into your constraints. Probably the lowest that I would go is an hour. That is the what, why, who, and when. Let's get into the where. There are 2 formats that we can use for the Murder Mystery Workshop. The first is virtual. If you find that your group has scheduling issues or you might have stricter coronavirus requirements in your area and it's not possible yet to meet in person, hosting on a virtual platform is no problem at all for us. And I would be more than happy to bring the event to the platform that you and your group are most comfortable with. There's not much prep we need to do ahead of time for a virtual experience. It's really just picking a time, making sure that everyone is able to participate in the event with a minimal amount of distractions. We understand that things come up, and haven't we already seen a lot of that during the coronavirus pandemic? The other type of event we can do is in person. The location for the event is going to reflect the type of vibe that you want to have. So if you are going for more of a business type thing where you're doing either client appreciation or social marketing, or you're doing some type of team building activity, then a boardroom or a private room at a hotel, private room at a restaurant, those are all viable options. And if you're local to Indianapolis and looking for an in-person event, I'd be more than happy to take a look at some of your preferred venues or suggest a few of my own. If you're going for more of a social type event, maybe it's a holiday party or a birthday party, or just getting together with friends to enjoy a creative evening. Some of those same types of venues apply, like restaurants and private rooms at hotels, maybe less so. But if you want to host in someone's living room or kitchen, or you have your own preferred place like a apartment clubhouse, you can absolutely coordinate that with us. We are more than happy to accommodate you. And again, if you need a suggestion suggestion on a great place to host a fantastic event, I have lots of recommendations for that. We're on to the last subject. We're going to get into the how of the matter. How do you set up a murder mystery workshop? Well, that's what the 15-minute consultation is all about. You can go to my Calendly page. The link is in the description below. We'll do a 15-minute consultation on your expectations, what you're looking to get out of the event, what some of your preferences are, and we'll collaborate on putting the event together so that it meets everything that you want. For the virtual event, I'll be taking notes that the group collaborates on as we go, and I'll be able to display those on screen through screen sharing on virtually any platform that you'd like to use. And when we get into the character creation phase, each person will have their own note sheet that they can use to flesh out their character and how their character interacts with the world that we are building through the murder mystery development experience. So that was the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the Murder Mystery Creative Writing Workshop. Let's talk briefly about some of the topics that we cover in the presentation. First, we're going to get into world building. We'll decide as a group if we want a realistic setting or if we want more of a fantasy setting or a time period setting. We'll talk about the rules of the world that we are building. What are things that people can and can't do? What kind of content rating do we want? Is this going to be for kids or is it going to be for not kids? That all gets covered in the setting, theme, and tone section. Next up, we'll get into the victim. Since the plot revolves around the victim, we'll actually spend a lot of time here fleshing out the actions that they may have taken previously or that day, what the victim's motivations are, how they are connected to the world and other characters. Speaking of other characters, we will spend a lot of time talking about how to create well-rounded characters. The characters need to have their own motivations, goals, and things get really interesting when they have unique relationships with other characters. The last thing we'll talk about is filling in the rest of the information about the murder mystery. We'll talk about how to leave clues, red herrings, how to go about solving a murder mystery, and at the end we'll provide some closure on the story that we've created together and have a little bit of narrative on what may or may not have happened the night of the murder. So that's just about everything that goes into a murder mystery workshop. If you have questions, ideas, things you want to see in future videos, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric with Deadly Distractions. Have a good one.